Good morning and welcome to this Sunday service. I can say that I never would have thought that I'd give my first sermon looking at the eye of a camera. Much less that my first sermon would be out here in the state forest. But I figured I'd come out here today and do it out here and listen to the birds sing and enjoy the nice spring. I don't know that I necessarily have a good Palm Sunday sermon, but hopefully it can relate to Easter a little bit and get you set for just thinking of the week to come and what Easter means to us. So with all that's going on with the virus out there, it's kind of scary right now. And it's reminded me of a story that's happened in history long ago, but has a lot of similarities. It was a dark time then too. The governing bodies at that time weren't getting along, and they made a decision that turned the world upside down. A decision that would affect things forever. People became nasty. People did things they never thought they'd do, and said things that they certainly never thought they'd say. People even died. Death was in the air to the point that people were locked in their houses in fear. Does any of this sound familiar? Well, then a strange thing happened. John 20 verse 19 says, Jesus appeared in the room and said, "Peace be with you." And that's it. He didn't say, "Peace be with you, 'cause I will make it all go away." Nope. He didn't say, "Peace be with you, 'cause I will vanquish Rome." Nope. He just said, "Peace be with you." And there's an explanation point on there, so I'm guessing he was trying to get their attention with needing the peace. It's such a simple phrase, and yet it's so powerful. Peace be with you. He doesn't worry about fixing anything that's going on outside. In fact, if you look into history, for the majority of the disciples, it didn't fare too well for them. And most of them were cruelly executed. And yet, Jesus wanted them to be at peace. Why? And better yet, how? Because Jesus isn't so worried about this body of ours. I know he cares. And I think he hurts when we hurt. But at the end of the day, I don't think he cares so much about this body. It's just a shell. It's just a shell made of dust. And one day, it's going to decay, and then it'll be gone. But the spirit that lives inside, now that's made to last. It's made to last forever. And that's what Jesus cares about. And that's what Jesus wants to be at peace. not hung up in fear. I don't think Jesus is a fan of fear. The fear that's like terror, I don't think that fear and Jesus get along too well. I don't think they hang out. Jesus wants us to have peace, the kind of peace that sets us free, knowing that we're secure in Him. Psalms 23 says, "Though I walk through the shadow of death, I will not fear." That's a funny thing about shadows. You shine a light on them, they disappear. Isn't it interesting that Jesus is the light? And He asks us to be the light of the world. Going back to verse 20 in John, the very next verse, Jesus says, "Peace be with you, because I'm sending you out into the world." Now that's Andy's translation, but that's basically what He was saying. He had told the disciples things like that before. And I think it's interesting that He says peace and then go out in the world. And Matthew 5:9 says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." I think there's two kinds of peacemakers. There's the kind that is a parent separating two kids that are fighting and they're squabbling, and you pull them apart and create peace that way. And I think there's the peace that you say the right thing to somebody and it gets them right in here and it causes them to be able to breathe easier, and it brings them peace and comfort. And I think that kind of peace comes from Jesus. And that's what Jesus wants us to do. He wants us to go bring that sort of peace to people. He wants us to bring the kind of peace that shines a light on those scary shadows. The kind of peace that is Jesus. So in closing, with all the fear that's going on around us, find peace in Jesus. He understands. I don't think we're going through anything that Jesus basically didn't withstand. You know, following up the peace part was when He showed the disciples the scars in His hand and His side. He knows what it is to hurt. And He knows what death is. And that's what He came here to conquer. So, breathe peace. Breathe Jesus. Soak it up for a while. Turn the TV off. Don't check the internet. Put your phone down. Quit absorbing all the fear that comes in as there's new reports about the virus. I understand it. It's easy to do. You want to stay in contact with what's going on, but it's a fine line before it starts to absorb you and cause fear. Jesus wants us to be at peace. So just set the things aside and just breathe the peace. Soak up Jesus for a little while. And then don't stop there. Take Jesus out. When you're talking to a person in the line at the grocery store, or you're talking to somebody on the phone and they start sharing their fears about the virus and everything, it's a chance to be a peacemaker. You have a choice to either spiral down that rabbit hole and get soaked up in the fear with them, or to breathe peace and speak peace to them and show them Jesus. And like Matthew 5:9 says, by those things they'll know that we are children of God. And they see us being peacemakers. So I encourage you to, one, soak up peace this week. And two, give some of that peace to others. Let's pray. Lord, thank you for the peace that you give us. Thank you for the gift that comes with salvation, is that overwhelming peace that passes all understanding. And Lord, as I'm out here in the sunshine and the breeze and smelling the beautiful spring flowers and seeing the new leaves popping out, and I hear the birds chirping, I'm reminded that you said that you'll take care of us even more than the sparrows, that you care for us even more. And it sounds like the birds are pretty happy right now. And so I'm going to rest in the peace that I know that you got these things handled. Doesn't matter what comes, you've got it. You'll take care of us. Lord, be with us, be with my church family. Help them to know how much they're loved and missed. And be with each of us this week. Amen. We miss y'all lots. Can't wait to see y'all in person again. To be able to shake hands again. And to be able to give some hugs too. I hope y'all are all doing well. We're thinking about you, praying for you. And we'll get through this. God bless you. Oh, and also, I know this was a little bit on the short side, but it was a little bit on purpose. Trying to do them a little bit shorter to see if it's a little bit easier getting them on the web for everybody. Hopefully this works. Let us know how it goes for you, and we'll continue to just press on and try to make the best of it. Blessings again.